Listen, I want you to hear me clearly. When I was your age, nobody told me the truth straight to my face. Everyone sugarcoated it, everyone danced around it, but I'll give it to you raw. Life doesn't hand you anything. Nobody is coming to save you. If you sit around waiting, you'll be waiting forever. I wish someone told me that discipline is freedom, that every time you choose the easy way, you are actually chaining yourself down. But every time you wake up earlier than your excuses, every time you train harder than your doubts, every time you grind when others are sleeping, you are breaking free. I wish someone told me that success is not about talent. Talent means nothing without obsession. You must be obsessed with your vision, obsessed with becoming better, obsessed with building the life you see in your head. Obsession is what turns ordinary into extraordinary. I wish someone told me that failure is not the end. Failure is fuel. Every mistake, every rejection, every setback is just a stepping stone. The only real failure is quitting. As long as you keep moving forward, you're still in the fight. I wish someone told me that the world doesn't owe you anything. You owe yourself. You owe yourself the chance to push to your limits, to discover how far you can go, to become everything you're capable of being. Nobody can give that to you, you have to take it. And I wish someone told me that time is running out. You don't have forever. Don't waste years blaming, complaining, or waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. You either step up or you stay stuck. So listen to me. I can't go back and change what I didn't hear when I was your age, but you don't have to make the same mistake. Take these words, burn them into your mind, and act on them today. Because if you do, years from now you'll look back and say, I'm glad I listened. Discipline is freedom because when you take control of yourself, you take control of your life. Most people confuse discipline with restriction. They think discipline means locking yourself in a cage, denying yourself pleasures, living like a machine with no joy. But the truth is completely the opposite. Discipline is not about limiting you, it is about liberating you. When you wake up early and stick to your schedule, when you train even when you don't feel like it, when you study and put in the hours while others are distracted, you are not losing freedom, you are gaining it. You are buying yourself the power to do what others can't. Without discipline, you are at the mercy of your moods, your laziness, your distractions. With discipline, you own your choices, you control your direction, you create your destiny. That is why discipline is not a prison. It is the key to freedom. Think about the people who lack discipline. They wake up whenever they feel like it. They skip the workout because they are tired. They eat whatever is in front of them. They waste hours scrolling, gaming, talking, doing nothing. On the surface, it looks like freedom. They are doing whatever they want. But in reality, they are trapped. They are trapped in their own habits, trapped in their own weaknesses, trapped in a cycle that pulls them further away from their dreams. Their lack of discipline steals their opportunities, destroys their health, kills their time. That's not freedom, that's slavery to your impulses. Real freedom comes when you can command yourself to act regardless of how you feel. When you are the master, not the servant. That's freedom. Discipline gives you the power to say no when everything in you screams yes to the wrong things. Discipline gives you the power to delay gratification, to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. Discipline is waking up before the sun and pushing yourself harder than anyone else, not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary. Discipline is what makes you consistent, and consistency is what builds greatness. Anybody can be motivated for a day. Anybody can work hard when they feel like it. But discipline is what keeps you going when motivation is gone. That's why discipline will always be more powerful than inspiration. Discipline will carry you when your emotions betray you, when your body wants to quit, when your mind wants to give up. Discipline is the weapon that destroys weakness. Every person you admire, every champion, every leader, every high achiever you look up to, they got there through discipline. They didn't always have the perfect conditions, they didn't always feel ready, but they built themselves brick by brick through disciplined action. Discipline is the difference between the dreamers and the doers, between those who talk and those who achieve, between the average and the great. Without discipline, your dreams remain wishes. With discipline, your dreams become inevitable. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It's the force that transforms your vision into reality. You can see the proof everywhere. The disciplined athlete pushes past exhaustion and reaches levels others call impossible. The disciplined student studies when friends are out partying and later creates a career others only fantasize about. The disciplined entrepreneur keeps working through setbacks until the business breaks through. None of them were handed freedom. They earned it by paying the price of discipline. That price is heavy, but the reward is priceless. Discipline gives you financial freedom, physical freedom, mental freedom, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Without it, you are chained. With it, you are unstoppable, and here's the hardest truth. Discipline hurts in the beginning. It is painful to wake up when you want to sleep. It is painful to train when your body is sore. It is painful to say no when temptation is right in front of you, but that pain is temporary. The pain of discipline fades, and in its place comes strength, confidence, success. The pain of regret lasts forever. If you think discipline is too hard, try living with regret. Regret will haunt you. Regret will crush you. Regret will remind you every day that you had the chance to become more, but you didn't because you lacked discipline. That's the ultimate prison. That's why choosing discipline is always choosing freedom when you decide to discipline yourself. You are declaring war on your excuses, on your comfort zone, on your old patterns. You are saying that you will not let weakness control you, that you will not let laziness define you, that you will not let fear stop you. You are saying that you will rise above your feelings and act according to your purpose. Discipline is living by your standards, not by your moods. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect, because when you are disciplined, you are proving to yourself that you are worthy of success, worthy of greatness, worthy of the life you desire. Discipline doesn't just build your results, it builds your character, and character is what sustains everything else. If you want freedom, you have to pay the price of discipline. You cannot escape it. There are no shortcuts, no hacks, no easy way around it. You either suffer the short-term pain of discipline or the long-term pain of regret. The choice is always yours. And the beautiful thing is, once you embrace discipline, once you make it a part of your life, it stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like power. It becomes a habit. It becomes who you are. It becomes your freedom. Obsession beats talent because talent alone is never enough. You can be the most gifted person in the room. You can have natural strength, natural intelligence, natural ability. But without obsession, you will never rise to the top. Talent gives you a head start, but obsession is what keeps you running when everyone else stops. Obsession is what makes you hungry when others are satisfied. It is what drives you to practice longer, train harder, and study deeper. When you are obsessed, you don't count the hours, you don't keep score, you don't stop when it gets uncomfortable. You keep going because you cannot imagine your life without chasing that vision. Obsession is the fuel that makes talent irrelevant. Look at history. The most successful people were not always the most talented, but they were the most obsessed. They were willing to sacrifice everything to master their craft, to perfect their skill, to achieve what others thought was impossible. Talent may open the door, but obsession is what keeps it open. Obsession will have you working when everyone else is sleeping, learning when everyone else is relaxing, pushing when everyone else has already given up. Obsession transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement, because obsession doesn't settle, it doesn't get comfortable, it doesn't accept good enough. Obsession is relentless, and that relentlessness is what separates the great from the average. Talent can fade. Talent can be outshined. Talent can be beaten by someone who simply refuses to quit. Obsession, on the other hand, cannot be defeated because it is not dependent on natural ability. It is dependent on your mindset, your will, your desire. When you are obsessed, nothing can distract you, nothing can slow you down, nothing can pull you off track. You think about your goal in the morning, during the day, before you go to sleep. Your vision consumes you. It becomes part of your identity. It becomes the reason you breathe. That kind of fire is stronger than talent, stronger than luck, stronger than opportunity. Obsession creates its own opportunities because obsessed people find a way when there is no way. People with talent often get comfortable. They rely on their natural ability and stop pushing. They think talent will carry them forever, but that's when they fall behind. The obsessed never get comfortable. Even when they reach a high level, they act like they're still at the bottom. They keep grinding, keep chasing, keep striving. Obsession never lets you stay still. It forces you to evolve, to adapt, to sharpen yourself constantly. That's why someone with obsession but less talent can eventually surpass the naturally gifted. Obsession eats talent for breakfast because obsession is built on action, repetition, and an unbreakable will to win. Obsession is the reason champions are made, not born. It is the reason some people take rejection and turn it into motivation, while others let it break them. It is the reason some people look at obstacles and see opportunities to grow, while others see reasons to quit. Obsession makes you deaf to doubt, blind to fear, and immune to excuses. When you are obsessed, you don't need someone to remind you to work. You don't need someone to push you. You don't need permission. You are self-driven, self-motivated, self-disciplined. Obsession takes control of your mind and body, and once it does, nothing can stop you. The world respects talent, but it bows to obsession. People admire talent, but they cannot deny the results of obsession. The obsessed are the ones who build empires, break records, and set new standards. They live with a fire that talent alone cannot produce. That fire is dangerous, it is consuming, it is demanding, but it is also liberating. Because when you are obsessed, you don't waste time, you don't waste energy, you don't waste your life on things that don't matter. You are laser, focused on one thing, and that focus makes you unstoppable. The world can try to distract you, to tempt you, to pull you away. But obsession keeps you locked in. It is not easy to live with obsession. It requires sacrifice. It means losing sleep, losing comfort, sometimes losing relationships. It means being misunderstood, criticized, doubted. It means people calling you crazy because they cannot understand the fire that burns in you. But that is the price of greatness. Talent doesn't ask for sacrifice, but it also doesn't guarantee success. Obsession demands everything, but it gives you everything in return. That is why obsession beats talent, because obsession will keep grinding long after talent has gotten tired. Obsession doesn't need applause. It doesn't need recognition. It doesn't need validation. It is fueled from within, and that fuel never runs out. If you want to rise above the rest, you cannot rely on talent. You cannot rely on gifts. You cannot rely on luck. You must become obsessed with your vision, obsessed with your craft, obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. Obsession will take you further than talent ever could, because talent might give you potential, but obsession will make sure you realize that potential. Talent might open the door, but obsession will break it down if it's closed. Talent might get you noticed, but obsession will make sure you are remembered. Obsession is not a choice for the great. It is the foundation of their entire life. Failure is fuel, because every time you fall short, every time you stumble, every time you get knocked down, you are being handed the very thing that will make you stronger. People run from failure as if it is something to be ashamed of. But the truth is that failure is not a dead end. It is a teacher, it is a guide, it is a source of power. Without failure, there is no growth, there is no progress, there is no greatness. Failure is the fire that forges strength. It is the pressure that builds resilience. It is the challenge that unlocks potential. The more you fail, the more you learn, the more you adapt, the more unstoppable you become. When you look at champions, legends, leaders, the people who reach the top of their fields, you will see a long trail of failures behind them. Every victory they achieved was built on lessons learned from setbacks. Every breakthrough they made was born from mistakes that forced them to find another way. The world only sees the success, the trophy, the spotlight, but behind it are countless failures that nobody talks about. Those failures weren't weaknesses, they were fuel. Every missed shot, every lost game, every broken deal, every rejected idea was gasoline poured onto the fire of their determination. Instead of quitting, they burned hotter, they fought harder, they refused to accept defeat as final failure forces you to face yourself. It strips away the illusions, it shows you where you are weak, it exposes what you need to fix. Without failure, you would keep lying to yourself, thinking you are ready when you are not, thinking you are strong when you are fragile, thinking you are prepared when you are untested. Failure doesn't lie. It tells you exactly where you stand. And if you are willing to listen, if you are willing to learn, failure will give you the map to improvement. That is why failure is fuel, because it gives you information that success never could. Success can make you comfortable, success can make you arrogant, but failure humbles you and sharpens you. Most people avoid failure because they are afraid of how it feels. They let fear of embarrassment, fear of judgment, fear of disappointment keep them from taking risks. They want to play safe, they want to stay comfortable, they want to protect their ego. But by avoiding failure, they are also avoiding growth. They stay stuck, they stay average, they stay trapped in the same place year after year. The people who rise are the ones who embrace failure, who chase challenges knowing they might fall, who step into the arena knowing they might lose, but who also know that every loss is fuel for the next fight. They see failure not as the opposite of success, but as part of success. Every time you fail, you have two choices. You can see it as proof that you are not good enough and quit, or you can see it as feedback, adjust, and come back stronger. The difference between losers and winners is not that winners never fail, it is that winners never let failure stop them. They treat failure like a spark that ignites their obsession to improve. They replay it in their mind, they analyze it, they break it apart, and then they use that energy to push themselves harder than before. Failure becomes the reason they succeed, because it forces them to reach levels of effort, focus, and creativity that they never would have reached if everything had gone smoothly. Failure also builds resilience. Every time you fail and get back up, you become tougher. You develop scars that protect you. You build a mindset that refuses to break. Failure teaches you that pain is temporary, that setbacks are not permanent, that rejection is not the end of the road. It teaches you to endure, to persist, to keep moving forward no matter what. And resilience is one of the most powerful weapons you can have, because life will test you, life will throw obstacles at you, life will knock you down. Without resilience, you will give up. With resilience, nothing can hold you down. And resilience is born in the fire of failure. Think about the greatest inventors, the athletes, the creators, the entrepreneurs who changed the world. They failed more times than most people even tried. They experimented, they fell short, they got laughed at, they got rejected, they got doubted. But they turned every single failure into fuel. They kept going until failure had nothing left to teach them, and then they succeeded. They understood that failure is not the enemy, it is the process. You cannot skip failure and expect greatness. You must go through it. You must be burned by it. You must let it refine you. Failure is the price of admission for success, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will rise. Failure also kills the fear of failure. Once you experience it, once you survive it, you realize it's not as deadly as you thought. You realize that the world doesn't end, that you are still standing, that you can still fight. That realization gives you freedom. It makes you dangerous, because once you are no longer afraid to fail, you are willing to attempt things that others wouldn't dare. That boldness, that willingness to risk failure again and again, is what leads to massive breakthroughs. Failure loses its power over you once you stop running from it and start feeding off it. Failure is fuel because it feeds your hunger, your resilience, your creativity, your discipline. It keeps you grounded, it keeps you honest, it keeps you pushing. The people who fear failure will always be limited, but the people who embrace failure will always rise. Every setback adds to their fire, every mistake sharpens their edge, every defeat makes them more determined. Failure doesn't weaken the strong, it strengthens them. It doesn't stop the relentless, it accelerates them. The more they fail, the more fuel they have to burn, and the brighter their success will shine. The world owes you nothing because nobody is sitting around waiting to hand you success. Nobody is obligated to give you opportunities. Nobody is required to make your life easy. Too many people move through life with entitlement, believing that just because they were born, just because they exist, just because they have dreams, the world must reward them, but that is a lie. The world does not care about your feelings, it does not care about your excuses, it does not care about how much you think you deserve. The world respects one thing only: results. You get what you earn, you get what you fight for, you get what you refuse to quit on. That is the brutal truth most people never want to hear. But it is the truth that will set you free. When you believe the world owes you, you become weak. You start waiting for luck, waiting for help, waiting for someone else to do the work for you. You think the government owes you, your parents owe you, your friends owe you, society owes you. But when you live like that, you hand over your power, you become a victim of circumstances, you trap yourself in blame and resentment. You complain about unfairness, you complain about opportunity, you complain about luck, but none of that changes your life. The moment you accept that the world owes you nothing is the moment you reclaim your power, because then you understand that everything you want is in your hands, in your control, in your ability to create through action. The world is full of people with more advantages than you, people who were born richer, stronger, smarter, better connected. But the world is also full of people with less than you who still made it happen. That proves something simple. It's not about what you are owed. It's about what you are willing to do. Life is not fair, and it never will be. Some people start with more, some people start with less, but what matters is not the starting line, it's the finish line, and you only reach it by grinding, by sacrificing, by staying relentless. If you keep thinking the world owes you, you will keep comparing, keep envying, keep making excuses. If you realize the world owes you nothing, you stop looking at others and start focusing on what you can control. Every second you waste waiting for a handout is a second someone else is working. While you complain, someone else is training. While you wait, someone else is building. While you demand, someone else is creating. And those people will always get ahead of you because they understand the truth. They know that nobody is going to come and make their dreams real. They know that if they don't work, nothing happens. They don't waste time asking why life is unfair. They use every ounce of energy to make themselves stronger, smarter, faster, more resilient. They refuse to feel owed. They take responsibility, and that responsibility makes them unstoppable. The world is ruthless. It doesn't reward intentions. It doesn't reward potential. It doesn't reward desire. It rewards execution. You can dream all you want. You can talk all you want. You can wish all you want. But until you put in the work, nothing changes. The world doesn't hand out trophies for trying. It hands them to those who finish. It doesn't care if you are tired. It doesn't care if you are stressed. It doesn't care if you are struggling. It only cares if you rise above it, if you push through, if you keep moving forward despite everything. The world owes you nothing, and once you accept that, you stop expecting things to come easy, and you start fighting for them with everything you have. This mindset transforms your life. When you stop waiting for the world to give you something, you start creating opportunities instead of waiting for them. You start building instead of begging. You start acting instead of complaining. You stop blaming others for your position, and you start taking ownership of your actions. Ownership is power. Ownership is freedom. Ownership is the key to success. Because as long as you think the world owes you, you are stuck. But when you take ownership, you realize you owe it to yourself to rise, to grind, to succeed. You stop demanding from the world and you start demanding from yourself. And the truth is, the world does not even reward fairness. It rewards value. If you want more, you must become more. If you want respect, you must earn respect. If you want wealth, you must create something that produces it. If you want freedom, you must build it through discipline and sacrifice. The world is not holding you back. The world is not against you. The world is simply indifferent. It moves on whether you succeed or not. The only way to matter in this world is to make yourself matter, to put in so much work, to build so much value, to grow into someone so undeniable that the world has no choice but to acknowledge you. That is the reality, and it is harsh, but it is also empowering, because it puts all the power in your hands when you embrace the truth that the world owes you nothing. You kill excuses. You stop saying it's not fair. You stop saying I deserve better. You stop saying why me. You replace those words with action. You replace complaints with commitment. You replace entitlement with hunger. You stop asking for a break and start creating momentum. You stop wishing and start working. You stop hoping and start executing. That mindset alone will carry you further than talent, further than luck, further than opportunity, because it will make you relentless. You will not sit still. You will not wait for someone else to save you. You will save yourself. The ones who win in life are not the ones who had the most given to them. They are the ones who took what little they had and multiplied it. They are the ones who refused to expect anything from the world and instead demanded everything from themselves. They understood early that the world does not care, and that was their advantage, because it forced them to toughen up, to work harder, to push further. Meanwhile, the ones waiting for the world to owe them something are still waiting, still blaming, still stuck in the same place year after year. That is the difference. That is the dividing line between those who achieve and those who stay. Average time is running out because every second that passes is one you will never get back. Every minute wasted is gone forever. Every hour spent on distractions and excuses is carved away from the life you could have built. People walk through life as if they have unlimited time, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if years can be thrown away and somehow recovered later. But the truth is brutal. Your clock is ticking from the moment you are born, and it never stops. Every sunrise is a reminder that you are one day closer to the end. Every night is a reminder that another opportunity has slipped through your fingers. Time is the most valuable resource you will ever have, and once it is gone for good. Most people don't respect time. They waste it scrolling, gossiping, complaining, doing things that don't move them forward. They act like they can always start tomorrow, as if someday they will magically get serious, as if someday life will hand them a perfect moment to begin. That day never comes. Tomorrow is not promised. The future is not guaranteed. The only time you have is right now, and if you don't use it, you lose it. The successful understand this truth, and that is why they act with urgency. They know the clock is ticking, and that awareness pushes them to make every day count. They do not waste time on things that don't matter because they know time is the currency of life, and you cannot afford to spend it carelessly. Time is running out for your dreams. Every day you put them off, they slip further away. Every excuse you make pushes them to the background. One day you will look back and realize that the window you had is gone. The energy, the youth, the opportunity you once had is no longer there. That is the regret most people carry. Not that they tried and failed, but that they never tried at all, that they waited too long, that they wasted too much. Regret is heavier than failure. Regret is a chain that will crush you. And the only way to avoid it is to act now, to stop waiting, to start using your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Time is running out for your body. You only have so many years of strength, of health, of energy. If you waste them being lazy, neglecting yourself, taking your body for granted, you will pay for it later when it's too late to fix. Every day you skip training, every day you poison yourself with bad habits, every day you choose comfort over growth, you are burning through the time your body gives you, and once it's gone, you can't buy it back. Discipline today is what gives you freedom tomorrow. Respecting time now is what saves you from regret later. If you want to be strong, if you want to live fully, if you want to have control over your future, you must treat time as your most valuable weapon. Time is running out for your relationships, your opportunities, your goals. The people you love will not be here forever. The doors that are open today might close tomorrow. The chances that are in front of you right now may never come again. Life moves forward, and if you hesitate, if you delay, if you keep telling yourself you will act later, those moments disappear. That is why urgency is everything. You cannot afford to be casual about time. You cannot afford to think you have forever. You don't. Nobody does. Time is running out, and the only people who win are the ones who realize it before it is too late. The most dangerous phrase in life is "I still have time." That phrase has killed more dreams than failure ever could. It convinces you to relax when you should push, to waste when you should build, to delay when you should execute. You keep saying you will start tomorrow, and then weeks pass, months pass, years pass, and suddenly you are looking back wondering where it all went. You don't lose your dreams because you weren't capable. You lose them because you thought you had more time than you really did. That illusion steals everything from you. The cure is urgency. The cure is acting today, not tomorrow, not later, not when it's convenient. Right now, time is running out because you are not immortal. One day, whether you accept it or not, your time will stop. The clock will run out. And in that moment, all the excuses, all the distractions, all the wasted hours will mean nothing. The only thing that will matter is what you did with the time you had. Did you chase your vision, or did you let it die inside you? Did you take risks, or did you play safe? Did you make every day count, or did you throw them away waiting for the right moment? The clock is ticking, and every tick is a reminder that you are getting closer to that final day. That truth should light a fire under you. It should make you hungry. It should make you urgent when you understand that time is running out. You stop wasting it on things that don't push you forward. You cut out the negative people, the meaningless activities, the distractions that keep you average. You focus like a laser on what matters. You start treating every day as a gift, every hour as a weapon, every minute as a chance to get closer to your vision. You stop being casual. You stop being lazy. You stop waiting. You attack life with intensity because you know you don't have forever. That urgency becomes your advantage, because while others waste their time, you are maximizing yours. While others wait for opportunities, you are creating them. While others complain about not having enough time, you are using every ounce of it to build yourself. Time is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you are rich or poor, strong or weak, talented or not. Everybody gets the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how you use them. Some people spend them, some people waste them, some people invest them. Those who invest them rise above. Those who waste them stay stuck forever. You cannot control how much time you are given in this life, but you can control how you use it. That choice determines everything. And the reality is, your time is running out whether you act or not. The only question is whether you will let it slip through your fingers or whether you will use it to build the life you are meant to live.